Hi, this is Erica Myers for the Facebook strategy for the Rappahannock Oyster Company. In this presentation, we're going to take a look at Rappahannock Oyster Company's presence on Facebook and kind of see what their audience looks like, what their goals could be, and what some of the metrics and conversations that they could be a part of in the future. So we're taking a brief look at Rappahannock Oyster Company's presence on Facebook. There's their Facebook link. They have over 100 years of service. They were established in 1899, and they've been family owned since then and operated. So right now they have close to 20,000 followers. Um, they are simple to order from. They have their website. They have other social media presences as well. But right now we're just concentrating on their Facebook. Now, the one thing is that Rappahannock Oyster Company does not post every day. They make probably about 2 posts a week on average. Recently, it's just been pretty much 1 post a week, but they've been consistent with posting at least every week. So here we're taking a look at one of Rappahannock Oyster Company's posts on Facebook. This is one of their recent posts. Most of their posts, since they're focused on the Chesapeake Bay oysters and clams, simply posting a text on their Facebook usually isn't sufficient. So they apply graphics to their posts to let you know what you're getting with Rappahannock Oyster Company. Occasionally, there's video content, but that's mostly for special events or if they're like at a crunch time and that video is available. But here we see a picture of the oysters and clams. They even have their own sauces. They have the oysters that's already been shucked and jarred for you. So to me, it's easy because, I mean, look at this post. It has their website in it in blue. So you go directly to their storefront. They don't give you like a generic roysters.com and then that you search for the storefront. They give you the direct link to the storefront for you to order right there for their proprietary products, oysters, clams, shipments. And that's what most of their posts are about their products, about their oysters, their clams. They even have posts about shipping, which it features the UPS um, the UPS truck filled with products and the FedEx truck filled with boxes of Rappahannock oyster shipments to go out to those who have ordered FedEx shipping or UPS shipping. So that's one of the neat things to see is that you're seeing pictures from them harvesting the oysters to pictures of bundles of their products to pictures of the items being shipped out. So you're seeing the whole process of their product on their Facebook site. Here's the SWOT analysis for Rappahannock Oyster Company. Their strength is that they are very cohesive with their name. It has a very great continuity that flows throughout their social media accounts, which is RR Oysters. Domain name, social media, combined, congruent, cohesive. They are diverse in their products and their staff, as well as their audience. Um, they have oysters, so they have old salts, Rochambeau, and of course the Rappahannocks. Plus, you have clams, sauces, all sorts of stuff. So they're very diverse with their products. Their staff is very diverse and is shown as being diverse. They have very great locations. You're located right there on the Chesapeake Bay at one of the sources. Plus, they have restaurants up and down from Virginia to Georgia, as well as a location in California. So that helps them to spread their awareness of their products by having these oyster restaurants and bars that people can visit and sample their products. Some of their weaknesses, I mean, you're dealing with oysters, so there could be an environmental event such as a hurricane, or I mean, it could be. I mean, right now we have global warming, so seas may rise, more fresh water may come through, and oysters need salt water to live. Um, Food allergies, you do have those who are allergic to shellfish. Shipping costs, the shipping is pretty high for shipping out oysters. However, considering the cost of the oysters to the shipping, it's pretty much market value. They're mostly focused on Facebook. They haven't really been doing too much with their Instagram or their Twitter or anything else like that. They've been most of their content and audience is on Facebook. The sporadic posts, um, I find the sporadic posts to be enjoyable to me because once a company starts posting daily and especially multiple times daily, it just gets too saturated and just too repetitive. Now, opportunities that Rappahannock Oyster Company has are partnerships. So currently, right now, they do have a partnership with Whole Foods in McLean, Virginia, and they have, I mean, it's pretty much having their own little restaurant that features their products in this Whole Foods. There's special events. Um, there's informational videos that they can put. So with the informational videos, I'm thinking more of like recipes, like how to prepare oysters, when oysters are in season, what to look for in oysters and stuff so that you're getting a quality product. I would like to see them hire a social media manager as an opportunity because that way that person can really focus on um, marketing these products and really kind of streamlining those posts so that when there's a post to Facebook, there's also a matching and congruent post to Instagram and to Twitter and maybe a YouTube video posted or something. Because this is a family operated business, the family is also doing the social media. So it may be that they can't respond fast enough or they have to take time out of their production to put in a Facebook post. So that's why I tend to like the sporadic posts. I don't like the daily post, but that's just me. Some of the threats that Rappahannock Oyster Company has are environmental issues. You have pollution. You have natural pollution, which is sediment. So if there's like a good hurricane, it's going to churn up the water more and dump more fresh water in because you have freshwater rain. Um, then your oysters could be tainted. There's man-made pollution where you have people dumping in sites or a chemical spill or a tanker. No, well, not a tanker. Sorry. I got to remember I'm not in Georgia anymore. Um, but you have pollution where a boat could be spilling fluids or something. They have competitors. They're not the only oyster provider for the Chesapeake Bay area. So you do have your competitors, and sometimes your competitors could poach your oysters if you're not paying attention to them as much. So you have to be aware of your competitors, plus non-proprietary events. So if they're going to a festival and the festival just wants them to have oysters available, but not really advertise like who they are, but they have like a little mention of, I mean, stuff like that. You really want to have um, your name out there. So yes, most festivals have banners. You set up your own booth and everything like that. But there are events where um, it may be a private event where they don't have the name of the place listed. So it would be like, oh, we're having this oyster roast, but we don't know who's providing the oysters, or we're withholding the name of the oyster company because this is not a marketing event for them. So I mean, you have different threats to to Rappahannock Oyster Company as a product that's basically available all throughout the Chesapeake Bay. So here's some of the competitors for Rappahannock Oyster Company. You have the Chesapeake Bay Oyster Company. You also have the Great Wicomico Oyster Company. Um, Both of them have their accolades, which Chesapeake Bay Oyster Company sells proprietary products like oysters. They also have apparel and stuff. But they have no other locations. It's just them at that one location, and they don't have a restaurant or anything. So it's just them. They only specialize in one type of oyster, which is the Parrot Island oyster. They also specialize in farming equipment so that you can farm your own oysters. And this is where poaching may come in. But they're more active on YouTube than Facebook. They have some posts, like this post right here is from Facebook. Um, it's not very, well, I mean, they have likes and comments and stuff, but it's not how, like, the Rappahannock Oyster Company has, um, 19,000 people who follow them. Chesapeake Bay Oyster Company only has like 1,800 people that follow them. So they're not, they seem to be a smaller company. I don't know if they're newer. I doubt they've been around for 100 years, like Rappahannock Oyster Company, but they are a competitor. And I mean, the YouTube videos are actually pretty interesting since you're seeing the process of oyster harvesting and growth. The Great Wicomico Oyster Company, they sell 6 types of oysters. So that's very competitive compared to Rappahannock oysters with their 3 types and their 1 type of clams. Now, the only problem with the Wicomico Oyster Company is that they only do local pickup. You'll have to call in for ordering, especially if you want shipping. Otherwise, they're very inactive on Facebook and Instagram. I haven't really seen, like, I mean, one post is from 2019, which we're already, what, 5 months now into 2020. And then the next post, the previous post from that is from 2014. So within 5 years, you haven't really posted anything. That's not great for trying to get new customers. Um, Along with the Chesapeake Bay Oyster Company, whose posts are very distance out. Like they'll have 2019 posts. I haven't seen any from 2021. I mean, from 2020. So I mean, it's kind of up in the air as into what these competitors are doing social media wise. Their current audience, and I was a little bit off on my audience um, persona type when I did the previous project. The current audience is mostly the conversions are done by females, usually between the age of 35 and 50, majority Caucasian. The men tend to stay longer in the interest and intent stages. They tend to um, convert when they see other men or they see more pictures of what people have done with the product. Um, but after they've done that conversion, they tend to skip that loyalty and go straight for advocacy after that conversion from men. Women tend to remain longer in the loyalty stage, meaning that women have purchased repeatedly more often than men. Very few do the advocacy. However, the loyal customers comment the most. I mean, they really comment the most. Most of the women who do the advocating will are answering questions for the family that's supposed to be answering questions because they're doing the social media, but it seems to be more the consumers are answering the questions for the consumers for the company. So I thought that was kind of interesting to see some of the consumers become pretty much customer service advocates for the Rappahannock Oyster Company. Now their target audience, usually between the ages of 35 and 65. The females are 55% more to order and to be converters of Rappahannock Oyster Company, while males tend to be 45%. Um, Most of them live in Virginia. The ones that I've seen commenting pretty much have been educated in Virginia. There's some Maryland people. There's very few from other locations. Um, for the activities and stuff, I mean, I kind of put pre-pandemic activities because the pandemic has really changed like how we interact with companies. So pre-pandemic activities, I can see them gathering with friends, doing short distance travel, especially if they live in Virginia, especially Northern Virginia. If they live in Northern Virginia, they're near the DC area, they're near the tidal basin, they're near the mountains, like I am. Um, and they travel that short distance, which I get range under 200 miles to get to the coastline. So we like to be on the shore. We like to be on the beach. Um, and we also like cooking. And we're pretty much foodies, and that audience likes oysters and cooking. They like entertaining. Post pandemic activities, which are since the pandemic has started, they like gathering still, but with fewer friends. So they're being more selective about their friends. Most are enjoying board games, something to keep them distracted but entertained. And they're cooking. Since they can't travel that much, they're doing more stay at home activities. So they may be on social media, they may be doing little goofy things on Snapchat or whatever, but it's more staying at home. Now, these audience members are college educated. They are degree holders. Several of the women that I've looked at on the Facebook page that do comment and advocate, they hold college degrees and have been educated mostly at George Mason here in Virginia. So there you have your predominantly Virginian audience with Virginia education, and a couple of Maryland people who one was also educated at a Virginia college. So that's pretty much the target audience for Rappahannock Oyster Company. Here's one of the personas that I made up. Her name is Betty Gibson, which is actually one of the commenters, but I used a picture from another commenter. Most of the women seem to be in their mid to late 40s. One seemed to look above 50, but most of them lived in Arlington or the Alexandria area. They're married. Most of them have kids. Um, Most of them graduated from George Mason University. This one is a real estate agent. I've seen pictures of dogs. I've seen people who entertain, where they'll show pictures of them entertaining with the oysters. Um, Most of them talk about traveling to the coast. Uh, This one, this is one of the things that I like to do, which is hosting painting and wine classes at home and stuff. Just something to relax with friends and stuff. Exercise by walking the dog, so they're physically active, but just because they have dogs, but they will religiously check the Facebook. So this is my persona that I created. So this is the goals that I have. Um, to increase the shares in Facebook, especially in the off-season months. So you have the old saying that oysters are no good in the months that don't have an R in it. So you have those 4 months that oysters kind of replenish themselves. So Rappahannock Oyster Company has to keep themselves valid and relevant during those 4 months. The funnel stages are they they pretty much capture people from interest into advocacy. I've never seen I hardly ever see anyone who's not aware of Rappahannock Oyster Company on their Facebook site. It's always the people who are have the intent or the interest, or those who have already converted or on the brink of conversion, and those who are loyal and advocates. Um, the Facebook shares are geared more towards likes and comments for their metrics, and that's one of the things that it depends on the post. If they're giving away something, they'll have like 1,000 likes and 1,000 shares. But on regular posts, they may have 100 likes and 34 shares, or they may have a ton of comments, but not really that many shares. So we got to get those shares increased with Rappahannock Oyster Company on Facebook. The type of content that I would like to see on Rappahannock Oyster Company um, is more products of preparations, like recipes, shucking the oyster, proper techniques, safety videos, and stuff like that for them to inform an oyster's consumer on how to enjoy that product. I would like to see more of videos from loyalty and advocate consumers. Brief facts would be nice, just a little 2-minute thing that says, hey, oysters and oysters are iron, whatever. So stuff like that. I don't think posts should be more than 2 per day, because that's when you get saturated and tired. And most Facebook viewers will leave a group or leave or unfollow a company or anything like that because they post too much. Posts should be made at the beginning of the week, which is usually Sunday or Monday, to let people know, hey, oysters are available. And then the last day for Friday arrivals, which are usually Wednesdays. So Wednesday morning, have that post, hey, last day for shipping out for this weekend, order now. Um, and I would love to see more sharing of articles of their accolades and other brands that could partner with them. I mean, they've made posts about their partnership with the Whole Foods in McLean, Virginia, but I would like to see more stuff like that as well. Now, content that Rappahannock Oyster Company should share. Out of all of these listed, I would love to see a mukbang, which is a Korean eating video. It's basically combining eating along with broadcasting. So the person eating would be eating Rappahannock Oyster Company's oysters and interacting with the audience as they eat. And to me, those videos have become very, very addictive and very popular amongst American viewers because of the things that people eat and the ASMR, the sensory of hearing the chewing and the the textures and stuff. So that kind of, I would like to see them, or see at least viewers or consumers make those products and share with Rappahannock Oyster Company. Um, the photographs from users and consumers would be great, along with videos of recipes and stuff. Anything that kind of informs or kind of teaches their consumers extra stuff about oysters, or what can be done with oysters or clams, or even their sauces. That's one of the things that I think would boost sales for Rappahannock Oyster Company. This is the information that I pulled off of buzzsumo.com. Their trends for the Rappahannock Oyster Company based on their Facebook. It looks like a lot of their consumers talk about the hot sauce. So that lets me know that I need to order some hot sauce from them. But it lets me know also that hashtag hot sauce could be a great topic. Or the second thing that they talk about most are the old salt clams. So old salt, hashtag clams. If we look at some of the Facebook engagements, they have likes of 225 for hot sauce, shares 42, and comments 36 on hot sauce. Old salts, they have likes of 77, shares of 15, comments of 21. Other conversations that I think that Rappahannock Oyster Company could join in would be sustainable, because people are becoming conservationists of the land again and of the waters, and that's a good thing. Despite some of the EPA's regulations and stuff being lifted, uh, people are still worried about their water and their air and their areas. So sustainable Chesapeake Bay has always been a peak interest for conservation, and shoreline restoration. A lot of people are looking at erosion, especially with rising sea levels and stronger storms coming through. A lot of people are taking a look at their shoreline and seeing how they can restore it and conserve it. So I think those are important conversations that Rappahannock could join along with hot sauce, because the hot sauce is always very important to carry. And what Beyonce said, that she carried a bottle in her purse. So, so it looks like for Rappahannock Oyster Company, they may want to invest in their hot sauce and get that onto some of the on the popular shows, like the one where the celebrities are eating the hot sauce and being interviewed. That's always a favorite. So good conversation. Rappahannock Oyster Company has always had pretty good audience engagement. Um, it seems as though most of their their posts are, or what works best for them is the theory of reciprocity, which is a giveaway for them. If they give away so many clams when you buy so many oysters, more people tend to go for stuff like that. Giveaways, contests. Their posts currently seems to ask questions of the consumers, and that gets them to comment and respond and interact with the social media family member, which is usually Travis. So that's one of the things that I think audiences really like, is when you ask for their opinions or ask for what they like. So audience members love telling you what their interests are. So that's one of the ways that Rappahannock Oyster Company really gets into their audience. Now, prior to the pandemic, there were special events like they would have the open bar at one of their restaurants. So the restaurants really drove in the special events and the few couple of festivals that happened throughout the year and stuff. But the restaurants and their special events really got people talking, and the giveaways really got people interacting with the Facebook. And also, simply ask. I mean, it always, for a company, it always doesn't hurt to ask the consumer what would they like, what's important to them. Ask them to post what they like. Like on Facebook, they have the option of allowing you to have outsiders post, and it'll just be a separate little like category on your page, or not have them post at all. I think Rappahannock Oyster Company does well by having people post, and it goes into that category box on the side that they can click for a post from others. So I think the audience engagement and development with Rappahannock Oyster, as it can improve, I think they're doing pretty well at the moment. So in my conclusion, the Rappahannock Oyster Company has great usage of Facebook. They don't post a lot, which is good. They post like 2 posts per week, and that's awesome. They always use images, so that gets the viewers. More posts are shared when there's a image attached to it. Their likes and their shares seem to be stable and coherent with the postings that they do post. Um, I believe the content is geared. I believe that content like that's geared towards the diverse methods of preparing and enjoying oysters and the sauces could increase the shares in their Facebook posts and sales. Um, that theory of reciprocity helps them out a lot with their conversions and continued loyalty. It surely gets to help with more likes, because I see like when like the last giveaway that they had, I mean over 1,000 shares and over 1,000 likes. I mean that's tremendous. But the goal is to get that type of numbers on a regular post as well. Um, their advocates are often repeat customers, and they assist in the conversion. Um, and it's getting those advocates to kind of help you out with getting more interaction from your audience. But I think it can be done with the Rappahannock Oyster Company. Um, I mean, they have a great product. They have a reputation already, so it's basically getting that reputation to shine through in their social media, especially not. I mean, even though we're focused more on Facebook here, getting it more into their other social media accounts as well may increase from other areas that they weren't looking at before. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you will visit the Rappahannock Oyster Company at rroysters.com. Thank you.